So what do you think of that? It's alright. Hi, welcome to I've Had a Thought, the random show of my reviews, my thoughts of what I thought of a movie or TV series basically. If you like it, I like it. If I don't like it, well then you'll know I don't like it. Anyway, in this episode we're doing Back to the Future. Yes, the trilogy. I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on part 1, 2 and 3. So starting with a little backstory. Basically, I remember, if you do remember as well, if you're old enough, if you're too young, you'll be like, VHS, yes, videotapes. The things that are about square, about the big, you know, this thing, yes. My aunt at the time had the collection of Back to the Future on VHS. The only problem is, when I watched these originally, she had lost part 2. Me being young at the time, didn't realise that part 2 was missing, so I only ever watched Back to the Future 1 and then Back to the Future part 3, not really understanding that there was a part missing in between. It was many years until they released it on DVD in the classic shop Woolworths. For all you people in the UK, you know what Woolies is. Yeah, good old shop. And they had it on display and I was like, is this for sale? Like, yes, we've just got it. So I bought that, and then that was the first time I watched Back to the Future Part 2, and my God, I can't believe I missed out that part. So let's start with Part 1. Part 1, oh, what else is there to say? If I had to rank the films, it would be Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3 anyway, so we get that out of the way. So Part 1, originally they filmed it with an actor called Eric Stoltz. The copy of that, does that exist? As far as I understand, yes, it's lingering about. And it's in a safe somewhere. Will we ever get to see it? Possibly. Do we want to see it? I would be intrigued to see how it came out, because it was pretty much all completed and all filmed, the whole film, and then they decided to get Michael J. Fox in because it just wasn't working. And fair play to Michael J. Fox. He was on, is it Family Ties? He was doing a sitcom at the time, and he done this. So he worked during the day and during the night, and he literally had a few hours sleep, but he got it done. And what I hit the film was Christopher Lloyd as the crazy Doc Brown. Brilliant casting on that as well. Perfect. The rest of the cast, I can't say I've ever seen them in anything really. Apart from Back to the Future, I don't know any of their works. Probably seen them on a This or That maybe. As for the story, would that be able to be made now? Let's say they decided to make Back to the Future a reboot, remake, which I don't think they should ever do, but could you do it in 2020? We are this era, 2025 let's say, and it goes back to, you know, they went back 20 years, so it'd be 2005. I just know they went back 30 years. Sorry, 30 years. They went back 30 years. What am I about? So yeah, it'd be 95. Yeah, it might be all right. I don't think it'd be an interesting film as going back from 85 to 55. No, not really. I think it was a bit more interesting, that era of time, technology-wise, and all this. So yes, going back to seeing all that, bumping into your parents. Would you want to bump into your parents and hang out with them as kids? The idea of it is intriguing. Would you get on with your parents? Me personally, I don't think I probably would. No offence to my dad or my mother, but personally I just think them at their age and me at my age around that time would have totally different type of inputs and outputs, and we'd be completely different people because of the era, for example, that I live in. So to go back to their age, about my age now, it would be, I would be born anyway. So, but let's say I went to in my 20s and I was back when they were in their 20s, for example, which still I would be born. But the point being is technology and things like that would be completely different, and I grew up in a different way personally, so it'd just be a very interesting thing. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's back to the movie. So yes, starting off, great start, great idea to have a time machine but in a car. Iconic, the DeLorean. Made me fall in love with the car, And if I won the lottery, for example, I would personally have my own personal DeLorean, just to drive around and piss about in. And it would have to be kitted out like Back to the Future. It couldn't just be a standard DeLorean. I'd buy the DeLorean and I'm like, I need a DeLorean kit out, please, to make it Back to the Future style, please, thank you. So yeah, going with that. Simple plot. I really enjoyed. The thing I didn't enjoy was the song. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the iconic song in the film. I don't like the song. I really don't. But going on from that, yes, obviously his father's bullied and all this, and how he ends up turning out that ends up whacking the bully in the face and changing the whole of history, and he's like really confident and cool. His mother doesn't become an alcoholic and all this as well, and she's like, you know, all prim and proper. The brother and the brother and sister, I mean, they're all famous. The idea as well that he messed up his parents' meeting and they had the photograph and they were fading, straight a cool idea as well. And then obviously get to the end and then they end up flying off in the car. Like, wait, what? I don't think they were actually ever planning a part 2, but then boom, they had to start from where part 1 left off. So like, oh bugger, let's fly off. And that's another thing. The actress that played Marty's love interest, I didn't even realise they switched actresses at the time. When I was younger, I just thought it was the same girl. So there's another little small detail that went straight over my head as a kid. But yeah, going to the future, what a great idea. Obviously we got to 2015 eventually, and where the hell is my hoverboard? I still want my hoverboard. And they actually did eventually do the Nike shoes that strap on, so that's quite cool. But yeah, a lot of things missing from the future that we should have had, like Where's Our Flying Cars too. But yes, going to the future, I can't quite understand the logic in this one. So going to the past, yeah, okay, but going to the future, Marty, we need to go to the future. It's about your kids. We need to stop this event because this does this, and this. Why don't you just tell him to make sure at that certain time and point that his son doesn't do that thing, the robbery, or you know, etc. Why did you have to go to the future to stop that event? I don't understand why you were like, when you're older, just stop your son. Simple. But then there wouldn't be a movie. The fact that they changed the timeline, alternate reality because of the sports Ultimac and all that, great idea. Also, part 2, I just love the fact that he was interacting with himself. Well, not personally interacting with himself, but we go through the first movie as well at the same time. That was just, for me, cinema-wise, a great twist. I just hadn't seen it happen before. You go through the first movie as well as making a brand new movie. Then obviously the third movie came along and they went to the Wild West, changed everything up completely. Did I like the third one? It's kind of the weaker side of the franchise personally for me, but looking back at it after watching it again, yeah, I thought the third one wasn't bad. All in all, Time Machine Train, maybe not so much. That's a bit of a crazy idea, but great. And then the fact that they destroyed the DeLorean at the very end of the film, and that was it. And it was all quiet, all done. I think it's a perfect ending to it. People wanted a fourth one. Do they want a fourth one? Or is this just people like, oh yeah, maybe they should jump on the bandwagon of, yeah, this is an old 80s type of movie, let's make another one. Because that happens a lot. But I don't think they should. I think they should stick with what it is. Just keep the 80s movie as a trilogy, well, 80s movie into the early 90s trilogy. They kind of did make a fourth one in the video game, the Telltale series, which is near enough physically impossible to get hold of or find. I'd love to play it. Stupidly enough at the time, I played a little bit of it and then just went, I'm not interested. But if I could find it, I'd definitely play it. And, you know, we had to watch the fourth. And then I would probably do it on That Stuff Gaming. Yes, that's another thing. Don't forget I've got a channel called That Stuff Gaming where I do all gaming videos. So if I do end up getting hold of Back to the Future 4, the game, it will definitely be on there. Anyway, that's my views, my opinions on the Back to the Future trilogy. I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy the Back to the Future trilogy? If you never watched it, definitely check it out. Anyway, until the next one, bye!